The year is 1644. For over 1,000 years, everything north of this wall was supposed to be the enemy, everything south of it was supposed to be home. On this morning, a Chinese general named Wu Xiangui stands on top of that wall with a decision to make. His capital has already fallen, not to foreigners, but to a Chinese rebel army. His emperor has hanged himself. His father is a hostage. And beyond the wall waits an army of Manchu horsemen. The exact kind of northern people this wall was built over 2,000 years to keep out. Wu Xiangui orders the gate opened. He lets them in. The horsemen pour through. Within weeks, they take the capital. Within a lifetime, they rule all of China, and they rule it for 268 years. The longest wall ever built didn't fail because someone climbed it. It failed because someone on the inside decided the people out there were worth more than the people behind him. Years later, Wu Xiangui summed it up. I raised the tiger to chase away the wolf, and it devoured my house.
Long before anyone built a wall, nature drew one. Across top of China, there is an invisible line. South of it, there is enough rain to farm, and north of it, there is dry grassland where you can't plant crops, but you can graze animals. That one line split humanity into two ways of being alive.
On the west side, people stayed put. They dug irrigation, planted grain, built villages into cities, wrote things down, got rich and numerous. On the dry side, people moved, following the grass with their herds, living on horseback. And around 900 BCE, those horsemen learned to fight from the saddle. A man on a horse with a bow is fast and gone before you see him. That gave the farmers a problem that would haunt them for 2,500 years. Watch how they first solved it. Around 307 BCE, a northern Chinese king, King Wuling of Zhao, keeps getting shredded by nomad cavalry. So he does something his own court finds humiliating. He orders his soldiers to stop dressing like proper Chinese and start dressing like the enemy, short jackets, trousers, boots, and to shoot from horseback. His nobles were appalled. It made them look like the savages they despised. But it worked. And centuries later, the historian Sima Qian gave us a line that could be the motto of this whole story. Wuling put on barbarian clothes and achieved the most civilized purpose of all. In 221 BCE, one man wins. The king of Qin conquers everyone and declares himself the first emperor. He tears down the walls between the old Chinese states and joins the walls facing north against nomads into one line. This is the birth of the Great Wall, and the reason is almost unbelievably human. The first emperor was terrified of dying. His searchers came back not with the immortality drug he wanted, but with a prophecy. The one who destroys Qin will be who? The northern nomads. So the most powerful man on earth read one ominous sentence and launched the largest construction project in history.
But this is a story about the people under the emperor, and the wall is literally built on them. Thousands of convicts were sent north with heads shaved, faces tattooed so they couldn't run. Out of that came China's most enduring war legend, Lady Mengjiang, whose new husband was seized to labor on the wall days after their wedding. She walked alone across mountains to bring him winter clothes and arrived to learn he was dead, his body buried inside the wall itself.
She wept so hard, the legend says that a section of the Great Wall collapsed, exposing a heap of human bones. For 2,000 years, ordinary people retold a tale in which the Great Monument isn't glory, it's a graveyard. And one woman's grief is strong enough to bring it down. It was the people's quiet answer to the emperor. We know what this cost us. And yet the villain may be a myth. In a well in Hunan, archaeologists found real Qin documents. One from 215 BCE orders officials to spare the common people from labor where they can, and threatens punishment for wasting their strength. The truth is grayer than the legend. And the prophecy? Qin didn't fall to the northern Hu. It fell to its own exhausted people. A revolt that began with conscripts marching to guard the wall, trapped by rain, facing execution for being late, who decided they'd rather fight. The emperor built the wall facing the wrong direction. The next dynasty, the Han, faced a nomad empire, the Xiongnu, united across the wall at the same moment. For 50 years, the Han married the enemy, sending princesses north to wed nomad chieftains, with yearly gifts of silk and grain. People crossed the line both ways. A Han court official named Hangyue sent north and, furious about it, defected. And when Han envoys lectured the nomads on Chinese superiority, he tore into them. Your people wear themselves out farming and manning silk just to eat. The nomad eats meat, wears fur, moves with the seasons, and is free. That's the wall's dirty secret. It wasn't a clean line between civilization and savagery. It was a membrane. Goods, ideas, people, blood move across it constantly. Its own guard posts became markets where Chinese silk was treated for nomad horses. Then Emperor Wu of Han went on the attack, and the wall flipped its whole meaning. He extended it west into the Gobi, not to keep enemies out, but to protect the caravans moving through the Silk Road. The wall, built to seal China off, became the wall that connected it to Persia, to Rome, to all of Eurasia. And the Xiongnu, once broken and driven west, may have set off the chain of migrations that centuries later helped topple Rome itself. The silent wall in China may have quietly rewritten the history of Europe. After the Han fell, northern peoples poured across the wall to rule the north. One of them, the Xianbei, hunters and herders from the northeastern forests, founded the Northern Wei. They were, by any Han definition, the barbarians the wall existed to stop. And once they sat on Chinese thrones, ruling Chinese farmland, what did they do? They built the wall, facing north, against the next wave of nomads, who were now their problem. So the barbarians built the Great Wall against the barbarians. The moment you settle on the farming side, you inherit the farmer's oldest fear and pick up the same trowel. The wall doesn't belong to a race, it belongs to a way of life. Then the Northern Wei did the most extraordinary thing of all. Under Emperor Xiaowen, they chose to become Chinese, moving the capital south to Luoyang, banning their own language at court, altering their people into Chinese dress, Chinese surnames, Chinese marriages. A conquering people voluntarily dissolved its own identity into the people it had conquered. The line between us and them wasn't just blurred, it was deliberately erased from the top down by the winners.
Everything you picture when you hear Great Wall, the Great Stone Dragon on the ridgelines and the watchtowers, is mostly the work of one dynasty, the Ming. They'd just thrown off the rule of the Mongols, who once swallowed all of China, and were determined it would never happen again. So they rebuilt the wall in brick and stone on a scale no one had attempted, roughly 8,850 kilometers, that still dominate the landscape today.
Now the practical questions, which are really the fingerprints of millions of hands. The building rule was ancient and shrewd. Follow the land and let the terrain do your defending. Where a cliff would serve, they used the cliff. In the deserts with no stone, builders layered gravel, clay, and reeds and pounded it solid until it sat like concrete. Some of those 2,000-year-old walls still stand. The finest Ming mortar was mixed with sticky rice, which is part of why it survives. And the beacon towers were the fastest information network on Earth. The number of fires told you the size of the incoming force, raising a warning 1,000 kilometers in a day.
In 2012, after a 6-year survey with GPS and satellites, China put the total length of all the walls built by all the dynasties at 21,196 kilometers, more than half the circumference of the Earth, the longest thing our species has ever built. And no, you can't see it from the moon with naked eye. It's long but narrow. Its real size is the 2,000 years of human labor pressed into it.
So the Ming built the greatest wall in history, and we are back where we began. 1644. The dynasty is rotting from famine and corruption. A Chinese rebel army has taken the capital, and the general Wu Xiangui holds the Great Eastern Gate, caught between the rebels behind him and the Manchu horsemen in front. He opens the gate. The Manchus, exactly the kind of northern people the wall was built to stop, read through the greatest wall on earth without breaking it, and found the Qing dynasty. The victorious barbarians look at this monument to keeping people like them out and retire it. They don't need it. They secure the frontier the other way, through marriage, trade, and diplomacy with the various dead peoples the wall was built to fight. The wall didn't fall. It was made pointless by people who'd crossed the line and decided the line was a mistake. The wall was built on a promise that there is an us and a them, and a high enough wall can keep them apart. Today, the wall is broken in the southern places, and people from every nation on earth walk up and touch it. Nobody stops them. The longest monument ever built to us against them, and its whole history is that idea quietly failing to be true. Which leaves one question worth carrying out of here. Which side of the wall are you really on?